All right, the video kind of got separated. That's fine. So what I was saying was that I had that dream. Ninth grade, I got a pretty good average. I knew that would be good enough when I finished school, and I had a dream and a plan, which broke apart the following year because once I was around all these teenagers, I just started losing sight of everything. Everybody was doing business. Everybody around us, even the adults, would say, "Go to school for business. You're gonna have a bright future." Blah blah blah. Took as many business electives as I could. Everybody was doing it. When I turned 16 in 11th grade, that's when they started allowing you, you could take you only had to take 3 mandatory courses. And everything else was your choice. So I throw the gauntlet. So I go to first semester, and what do like an idiot? I take grade 11 university biology with the hardest teacher that they had. Okay. Now the guy looked like he was very personable, young and fun. He had an issue with his own personal past of how he was very good in biology, went to university and couldn't do biology, became a teacher instead. And he blamed this high school for giving him easy biology courses. All right, that was his theory behind giving us a hard time. At one point at midterm, we had a failing average, meaning the average of the class was failing. There was only 2 people with actual good marks, and they had really good marks. Everybody else was failing. I stopped going to class. He saw me one day. "Why aren't you coming to class?" I'm like, "Dude, this class is just fucking stupid, man. I don't like doing." I used to be very open, and it was accepted. I was like, "Dude, I just skip your class and I go to gym class. I skip your class to join gym class. I go to the weight room or I go play whatever. I don't like your class, and you're not a good teacher. I don't know if I said you're not a good. Well, probably did in so many words. Anyways, the point is, I took that, I bombed it. I got a 25 out of 100, whatever that grade is. The next semester, I take accounting, okay? What the hell is wrong with me now? But I'm thinking that was what my ideal future was. So I'm thinking I'm supposed to take accounting and do good in it. I fail accounting too, okay? So now I failed biology in the first semester, and I fail accounting in the second semester. I'm already discouraged. Now, I have this weird tendency about me. When I get into class, I can't focus on what the teacher's saying. It was easier to focus when it was simple math or we were doing geography or history. By the way, I did decent in world history in 11th grade. I took world history, I think it was university as well. But that was my forte though. I've been playing historical games and studying history on my own time insanely since I was a small child. I've been obsessed with history. So I did good in that class. But accounting, I failed yet again. Now, every time I get into class and they had serious stuff going on that I didn't have interest in, like accounting and biology. Now, in my mind, as an adult, I'm supposed to do this stuff because every day I'm supposed to go in the office, crunch numbers, or do something in science. So this is mandatory and it's necessary. I could never get my mind to just pay attention. My emotion, I would take over and I'd be like, "This is so fucking stupid, man. Why don't I just have a fun conversation with somebody sitting beside me? You know what I mean? This person seems kind of interesting. I want to talk to them. I want to see what I can find out about them, what they can tell me about themselves." You know what I mean? And I thought, "Oh, dude, it's okay. Grade 12 comes, I failed 2 courses. You're supposed to take 2 spares, which gives you extra time. I just sacrificed my spares. I'm not taking gym class again. I maxed all my gym classes out. So I'm just gonna take all the hardest courses and you know what? I'm gonna graduate and go to university. I'm gonna be fine by the time grade 12 comes. Let the course start, I'll be really good. The course starts, I'm just like, fuck, man. This shit is retarded, man. This shit's making me go crazy, man. I can't take this shit. All this fucking, this does not for me, man. You know what I mean? So that went down. Now, I thought that it's, okay, when I turn 18, when I turn 19, when I'm 20, when I'm 21, never happened. I could never get out of child world, man. I behaved like a child. When I genuinely felt like laughing, I couldn't stop myself from laughing. Now I still have a little bit of control over myself. I couldn't stop myself from laughing. I couldn't stop myself by blurting things out. You know what I mean? I just couldn't stop myself. You know what I mean? I was just very immature because I was still a child in my mind. I thought I was still a child, even though I formally became an adult. I would say that it was, now I talked about, I got a presence, but that's just a start, man. 5.5 months ago, I got a presence. That was the beginning. And at this point, I feel like I'm just weeks into the adult world. Now we'll get into what I want to talk about. So I'm gonna talk about this without talking about this by talking about this, so you get the example. Okay, I'm gonna use London, England as an example. Okay, now I've heard this story many times over, but I'm gonna talk about this as if it's a fictitious story or a general example. Okay, so what I heard was in London, England, somewhere they had like a very notorious jail. Okay, and maybe like 2 hours away or 3 hour drive away, they had a notorious juvenile hall. What happened in London, England was that like a bunch of 16-year-olds clicked up and got together. Okay, they started their own gang. All right, they took over the juvenile hall. They totally took over the juvenile hall completely. Okay, people were ending up dying. Okay, and being murdered. They found out, these guys were slanging. They were killing. They found out. So they came up with a solution. The administration's solution to this problem was to send the boys to the notorious men's prison, thinking that they're just gonna fold when they get with men. You know what I mean? Oh, they'll learn the lesson. Oh, it's gonna end their stupid little gang. They send these 16-year-olds to that men's prison, and guess what happens? It's the birth of their new gang in an adult prison, and a future of a gang that just gotten like crazy strong. To me, those are exceptional kids. Now that I've done the story, I want to. The point of this, the reason that I was throwing the story out is that I realized to myself, even me becoming an adult recently. First of all, when I gained a presence, dude, life just started clamping on me. People just started not liking me. I was having people fuck with my like food and things, just to fuck with me. Like I was going through a lot of shit. Granted, prior to that last year, I told you how I made an effort to win every little thing and to do different things and to come out on top. And I was doing that. I got a lot of shit. I got a presence. I got a lot of shit. And at this point, it's like I just recently come into the adult world. And I know that as a fresh adult, as a guy who's just become an adult, no matter how talented I am, no matter how skilled I am, no matter how many connections I have, no matter how real I am, no matter how big my resume is or how big I am, the fact is that I'm a young adult. At least out there, I'm a young adult. Now, me being 31 years old, you also have to understand that I don't look 31. I look about 21 years old, okay? And I mean, that's very obvious to me. You can see it right there. I look 21 years old, okay? Now, me being at this age as a young adult, just entering the adult world, I'm facing challenges constantly. You know what I mean? Kind of like how those kids did. I'm facing challenges constantly. It's like, who does he think he is? Who does he think he is? Who does he think he is? Why is his principles and values higher than ours? He should join us in things that we do, for example, right? And so that's what I want to talk about. Okay, going back to morals and principles, kind of lost a little bit of track there, but I'll get it back. So there's a lot. It's difficult coming up. Even if you're very good, it's difficult because when you're new at something, when you're starting up, when you're coming up, it's difficult. When you're starting up and you're new at something, it's difficult, right? I'm just into the adult world, and there's a lot of difficulty, a little bit of jealousy, a little bit of envy, and now I want to get into morals, values, and principles. Why some people have higher principles. The truth is that, some of us are better than others. And I would have never, ever said this in the past. I would have never, ever said this. In the adult world, I feel totally comfortable saying this. Some of us are better than others. Some of us are racially better than others. You know what I mean? I truly believe in a racial hierarchy, definitely. You know what I mean? Some of us can be part of dynasties and things like that. You know what I mean? But I've talked to you about Vlad the Impaler. Okay, Vlad the Impaler was kidnapped as a small child, taken to Ottoman Turkey, and raised by Ottomans, okay? And what did he do? The story is that when he turned, and I'm telling you real history, the story is that when he turned 16 years old, he had a choice. They gave him a choice. They actually gave him a choice. And what was the reason that they gave him a choice? Because of how bright he was. You know what I mean? Like, because of who he was, his personality, his values, his principles, they respected him. The Ottomans had respect for him, so they gave him a choice. Hey, if you want to go back to Romania, you can go. Now, the story is that his older brother was caught with him, and they gave his older brother a choice. The older brother wanted to stay in Ottoman Turkey. The older brother wanted to be in the Ottoman army and fight for them. The younger brother, who was 16 at the time, wanted to go back to Romania. I've already talked about his story. We all know his story, but he did. At 16, he went back to Romania. He gained his nobility back. Like, he had to go through politics and everything, but he gained his nobility back, became a prince, and was sanctioned by the Pope of the Catholic Church. He was sanctioned to be part of a alliance that was a Catholic alliance against Islam coming into their area, because these guys had been Catholic for, I don't know, 1,000 years, and Islam. Anyways, so that's what happened. Okay, now somebody has values and principles. We all do. We all have different values, principles, and standards. We all have different standards. That's all it is. And there's nothing more to say. I mean, I know that, I'm new in the adult world. And I can feel it when anyone is around me. It's like the rules are just changed. They're like, okay, this is an adult right now. We have to deal with them like it. As a child, I wasn't going anywhere learning anything because I kept getting dismissed and I was just, too immature to focus on life even. Like an adult should, I was just playing a perfect child versus a perfect adult, which is what I should be doing, which is what I am doing. Anyways, everything's in there. I don't need to repeat anything. If you don't get something, go back and watch it.